currently appealing that conviction.
Time now for our weekly mental health check-in. First up, it's tax day, and if the constant buzz from Wall Street and Washington has your stress levels rising, you are certainly not alone. We're breaking down practical ways to manage financial anxiety in these uncertain times.
Plus, with ADHD diagnoses at an all-time high, new research shows scientists are rethinking what the condition really is and how to best treat it.
Joining us now to discuss these latest health headlines is psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig. Dr. Robi, always good to have you with us. So let's start with those financial worries. A lot of people are feeling overwhelmed by this.
Yeah.
So how can you start to regain a sense of control when so much, like market swings and global events, just feels like it's out of our hands?
Well, it's really important to know what we can control and what we can't control. We can't control the markets, but we can control what we do to make our own interventions. For example, like deep breathing can be tremendously helpful in terms of reducing anxiety. Exercising and stretching has also been known to be very helpful. If we get and take action, sorry for the loud noise in the back, I live in New York. If we talk to somebody that helps us to feel better, that's also really helpful in terms of connecting with supportive people. Spending time outdoors and also focusing on what you're doing to not multitask can also be very helpful in terms of focusing on what we can do for ourselves.
Good advice. Those sirens, all part of city life, Dr. Robi. Well, let's talk about this new research on ADHD. It is fascinating stuff, challenging what we thought we understood for so long, suggesting ADHD might not be biologically fixed, but could shift depending on the environment people are in. How could this change the way parents, teachers, and maybe even doctors think about treating kids with ADHD symptoms?
Well, it's always important to know that our environment plays a role in the expression of various diagnoses and mental health challenges. ADHD, they found new studies that suggest that behavioral training for parents is very helpful for the child that has ADHD. The most well-known and scientifically based treatment is still stimulant medication and behavioral intervention. And now they're really expanding and looking at other ideas of what can be helpful, including non-stimulant interventions for those who can't tolerate stimulants, and teaching parents how to provide structured environment and how to identify these issues sooner rather than later, which is also tremendously helpful in terms of treating ADHD.
Dr. Robi, so often we like to talk about positive steps people can take for their mental health. So here's one for you. We've got new research suggesting that looking up at the stars can actually ease your anxiety. We've talked a lot about how nature can be helpful, but what is it about stargazing that is so good for our mental health?
So what this study showed was looking at the stars can induce a sense of awe, which is connected to feeling love and joy. And it reminds us in some way that we're all connected. And what I would say is that it also takes us out of ourselves and shifts our perspective to thinking about what else is out there in the universe and that we're all connected in some really unique way. And there was one researcher that was looking into this and found that it was tremendously helpful in terms of our mental well-being because it did change our perspective. And who doesn't like looking at the beautiful stars? And the best time to do it is during the winter and autumn months because that's when we have more night sky.
All right, some good advice there. I think about how these major eclipses we've had over the years sort of have this bigger sense of bringing us all together, but on a smaller scale, we can do it all the time by just looking up at the stars up there. All right, Dr. Robi Ludwig, as always, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Well, coming up, it's tax day, but if you still have not filed, you might